Now, a message from the UN.
My drug band versus your drug band. The comments are so crazy. Don't take Frasco seriously. You acting like a little baby, talking about death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Over Mayor McCheese. McCheese. You all need to calm the fuck down. It's just a little comedy. You ain't quick enough for Andy's comebacks. Ketamine makes you tired. Better get some rest before my boy lights you on fire. Talking about death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Over Mayor McCheese. McCheese. You all need to calm the fuck down. It's just a little comedy. We're talking about death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Internet chill, please. Chill, please. You all need to calm the fuck down. It's just a little comedy. We're talking about death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Death threats. Over Mayor McCheese. McCheese. You all need to calm the fuck down. It's just a little comedy. You all need to calm the fuck down. It's just a little comedy.
All right. And we're live. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. What a week to be a bluegrass fan. We got Molly Tuttle. Molly Tuttle is our interview, but we brought someone in. Little Ruckus. I'm very excited for this interview. I got multiple calls saying he's from Denver. He needs to be on this show. He was at the Billy String show throwing chairs out of people. We have Cody. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, Andy.
Cody, you're a legend in our book.
Nottingham. What a great last
Cody
name.
Nottingham.
Like the sheriff of, we got to do it for the people. I'm a man of the people, Andy. I'm a fucking man of the people.
So you're more like Robin Hood than the sheriff.
Yeah. I'm the opposite, but I'm from the area, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, for the people who haven't seen this video, there were a line of people with chairs, right? Waiting in line. Like what?
I think the biggest question is a lot of people don't understand like the ghost chair mentality and like what it's for. So I think if I explain like what that is and then what the problem with it is, will help people better understand. So
Tell us,
everybody
Cody.
knows how hard it is to like get tickets to some of these big shows, and for bands that are blowing up, like I mean, it's difficult, right? And so getting tickets is one thing, and a lot of them are general admission, and so with general admission, like pit or lawn, you have to get there early to get your spot. Now you add on the fact that there's early merch. And with merch, there's limited posters. And so then there's limited foils and there's things. I am a poster collector. I am a avid music fan of genres all over the board. I probably have over 500 show posters.
But Billy Strings is your god.
Billy Strings is my fucking man crush right now.
Yes.
I absolutely fucking love him. I was shit-faced at Telluride in 2018. And I saw this name, Billy Strings, on the list. And it was in the middle of the day, right? Because it was before he had blown up. And I was like, who the fuck is Billy Strings, right? And then I saw him at Telluride and I was like, whoa, who the fuck is Billy Strings? And so I've been obsessed. I literally have been telling everyone and anyone all the time, go listen to it.
Well, it worked.
But so, yeah, well, it wasn't me. It sure as fuck was not me. I promise you. It was
I
not
didn't realize
me.
he wasn't big yet in 2018. So he had a pretty quick
2018, he wasn't. I really think it was COVID that blew it up. But with all that came like this fury of fandom. And so what happens is because there's like these merch lines and general admission lines, you got to go and get in line before the doors even open, right? So like doors will open at 6:30. Some of these motherfuckers are coming at midnight the night before.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
But so here's the fucking thing. It's like, if they came at midnight and some dudes are hardcore, they sleep in line and
They bring
there.
tents and shit.
Yeah,
and
dude, they'll
they
bring
sleep in-
hammocks.
Like they're getting the new iPhone?
Worse, dude. Like sneaker drops, like all this. They are there and they are committed. And for those dudes, fucking props to them because that shit is hard.
Yeah,
and
they
I
stay in
appreciate
there.
the hustle.
Yeah.
They are there. The shit that I don't like and what caused this was some motherfuckers will come and drop a $5 Walmart chair. And leave it
and leave there and then not stay there.
Not stay there. They don't have one person of their crew there. They don't have anything.
That would piss me off.
They're colonizers.
They're colonizers.
They are 1,000% taking advantage of the situation. They think that they have left their marker of an empty chair.
Yeah.
And now it's theirs, right? And so for me, I would come, like I live 2 miles from Red Rocks.
So they would leave it at midnight.
Go home.
And go
Leave.
home.
And then
That's not fair. That's not part of the hustle.
So what happened with this was I got to Fiddler's Green at 8 o'clock because I live here. I had to drop my girls off at school, and then I came immediately after I had dropped them off. And there was already 20 empty fucking chairs in line.
Oh my God.
There was one dude.
What, at 9 a.m.?
At 8 a.m., almost 10 hours before door open.
Jesus.
There was already 20 chairs. There was only one dude in a chair, and he had 2 chairs next to him. So if you watch my video, you'll see that I like pass by this dude.
Yeah, because he's respect.
Well, yeah.
You respect his hustle.
They at least have one guy there
But
holding.
what people don't understand and they're ripping on me in the internet for is, oh, you passed one dude. I asked that guy. I said, hey, you want to take you and your homies' chairs to the front? You're the only dude here. You're first in line.
You're doing the work.
And he's
You're
like,
doing the work.
And he's like, no, man, I'm good. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to fucking throw these chairs. And he's like, get after it, bro.
Hell yeah. He's probably, I mean, he's got to be more pissed than you. He's been the one that's sitting there looking at these empty chairs for 8 hours.
But here's the fucking problem is the complacency, right? Like he didn't want to do anything. And there's so many of us in this scene that fucking hate it.
Yeah.
We hate the empty chair. We hate like the bully pulpit. There's even people that do like fake fucking lists, right? Like, what? Oh, Joe Schmo's number 3 in line. Well, really, Joe Schmo's your best friend and he's fucking blowing lines and
Yeah, he's
hotel
doing
room.
ketamine in the fucking in his trailer.
Yeah, and he's not even fucking doing anything, and he's not there, right? And then the worst part is those guys are also the ones that go buy the limited posters, like the foils and the uncuts,
And sell them
immediately. They don't even wait.
How many can you buy? How many posters can one person buy?
So the smart bands put a limit of 1 per. But it doesn't fucking matter because now what I do is I find all my dirty Wook friends and I say, hey, I'm going to buy you a $50 ticket.
Right.
You're going to come in with me. And so now when doors open, we're coming in and we're going to rush.
It's a fucking racket, dude.
It's 1,000% a racket. And then what happens is they buy these fucking posters and they take a picture and they're immediately waffling or selling them for 5-10 times the value.
Really? That much?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
How much are Billy Strings posters
50,
going
100.
for?
So, Billy, I love you. I just want to say that first.
But I've made thousands off you.
No. To be perfectly honest, I've probably only sold a handful of posters ever.
Yeah.
What I do is trade some of my other posters for posters that I want. A few years ago,
That's fair.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Billy had great posters, and I feel like the last couple of years, the quality of the art and some of the posters aren't as strong. So the value has definitely gone down. I also think that COVID money went away. So people didn't just have like endless funds to just blast away. Cause like you could get like one of the Moorhead foils. There was only 35 of them. I had to sell one to somebody because their framer ruined it and they couldn't find another one. And I got $1,000 for that poster that I paid $70 for.
Let's fucking go.
That's pretty sick.
It's basically like baseball cards. People
same thing.
resell baseball cards.
There's a million things like this.
For sure. And so that's what fucking sucks.
Do you kind of like have like this weird feeling in your stomach when you're selling a poster?
So that's why I try not to sell them. And that's why, so for me, what started this, before I even did the chair tossing, I was shit-faced in Asheville. Well, actually, let's start the real truth. A couple years ago, I was at Renewal Festival, and I was waiting to buy merch. And at Renewal, which is Billy's festival in Buena Vista, it should be Buena, but Colorado's fucking weird. So it's Buena Vista. Yeah, exactly. And I was waiting in line to buy my posters, and they were only allowing 10 people in, and then they would have to walk 50 or 100 yards to a table, and then they were rolling their posters and putting them away. Wow. And being the fucking idiot that I was scoring them like an Olympic gymnastics judge, like 1 through 10. Like, oh, fucking great job, you got a 10. Oh my God.
The roll job?
They're rolling, yeah. Like fucking like a gorilla roll be like, Jesus Christ, that guy just fucking ruined that poster. Like,
Really?
that was it. Yes.
Oh, you can do that with a roll, huh?
Oh, dude.
You're good at rolling.
And like a poster. Well, I mean, we smoke enough weed, we should roll, right?
Yeah, but what about when you're all fucked up? What was the worst roll you ever done?
Oh, dude. Well, I've definitely gorilla gripped some things. The worst
It's called gorilla gripping?
Oh, dude, yeah. When you just
like then it bends it a little bit.
Yes, because it bends it. And then once you have a bend or a fold in a poster, it's really fucking hard to get out. I did something there's a very famous poster artist called Chuck Sperry. I did a tutorial in his group where it's called boning, but you can use like a silver spoon and you can use heat to warm up the poster and then the spoon to kind of rub out some of the blemishes. You can't do that shit on a foil. The second you roll a foil or crack
Done.
it, it's done. It's
Right.
fucking over. The value is gone.
It's like losing your virginity. It's over.
Yeah, there's no coming back, right?
yeah,
There's literally no coming back. And so the worst one, I've definitely gorilla gripped a flu, but on purpose in Asheville, I had watched all these dudes and I was like, what if somebody was so fucked up one time that they just came and like folded their fucking poster and put it in their back pocket? Because all these dudes want to go and sell it, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, like, how great would it be to like rub it in their face, be like, fuck the $500. This is my poster. I'm going to do with it what I want. And I fucking did it.
Were they pissed?
Oh, dude, the world was on fire. This poor girl had absolutely no fucking clue what was going on. So I come, I buy my poster.
Play the video. Play the video. Play the video.
Of the folding one?
Do the folding one first.
Yeah, no, I think this one's only 38 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
So you're walking up
I'm
here.
walking
Same
up to
hat.
her. Same hat, fucking top.
Oh my God, yes. Dude,
He's like, what are you doing?
Bro, she's going, do you need help? Do you want to put this into my
God,
tube?
yeah. It's not even a good fold.
Oh, no, it's not. And she's like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, put it in my back pocket, of course. And this fucking girl's in shock. I walk away. I throw this motherfucker in my back pocket. I walk into pit and I am gone. Just disappear into the crowd. And my phone starts blowing up. And all my homies
Hold
are
on, like
the
what?
video's already out.
So the video's out.
Video's out. Somebody else had taken it. This one wasn't even posted by me. It was,
okay.
It was somebody else had taken the video of watching me.
Oh my God.
And then, because I had talked about doing it in line, but they didn't know if I was actually, because I'm a fucking clown, right? Like I joked that my spirit animal's Chris Farley. So like I'm just this goofy dude. And I was talking about, oh, I'm going to fold this fucking poster. And so this dude videotaped me, posted it on his Facebook, and posted it in one of the Billy Strings.
And you're
groups.
basically doing like a fuck you to the people selling it.
Yes, what I'm saying is this is my fucking poster.
Yeah,
I can
I'll do
do
whatever
with
the
it
fuck
whatever
I want
the
with
fuck
it.
I
Yeah.
want with it, and it doesn't matter what
And
you
people was
It-
not having it.
They
These
couldn't.
fans are fucking addicts.
They're so entitled. They're entitled to your poster.
Yes, well, so I was getting messages like, "Do you know how much that is? Do you know how much that poster is worth?"
$70.
And I'm going, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can do with it what and they're like, you didn't do that. You didn't actually do it. So then I took a selfie of me holding the folded poster in the middle of pit right before the show. And one of the girls behind me in line waiting to get in for pit, I had told her, because she's like, she didn't have money and blah, blah. She's like, oh, I wish I could buy a poster. I was like, I got a folded one I can give you. And she's like, what? And so I gave it to this chick. It blew up. The fucking,
That's awesome.
The Billy group went crazy. And then what happened was,
Oh my God. It's like a cult, dude.
dude, that guy,
Too big.
Speak in
almost.
tongues.
Yeah.
Do they
I like the girl that took the folded one and didn't care. That says a lot about her.
oh, dude, well, so
Yeah,
she's
that's
so
cool.
amazing. What she ended up doing was she took it, brought it home to her condo, fucking thumbtacked that bitch
Hell
to
yeah.
the wall. Folded to the wall, thumbtacked.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Yes.
To me, actually,
I'm pretty sure her name is Lauren. Her boyfriend reached out to me after
Shout out
the
to
chair
Lauren.
flipping. But Lauren still got the poster. I told her, you're never allowed to sell it, because I was like, this is going to blow up. If you sell it, you got to sell it back to me. Otherwise, you can't
Yeah.
fucking get rid of it or hold on to it.
honestly, cooler collectible than a
Look at this.
a flat poster.
What's that
you know?
picture of you just burning it down?
Oh, dude. So the internet
Fiddler's
is
Green
the
merch.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
the internet is
entrance.
undefeated. The internet
Yeah.
is undefeated. So that was my maniacal laugh.
Were people truly offended when you were throwing the chairs?
So not when I was throwing it. I think it was such a shock for people, because like,
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how fucking big I am. Right? Like,
and they're not gonna fuck with you.
You're
No.
a good 6'3" or something, right?
yeah,
You're a
I'm
big guy.
6'4", 300 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big motherfucker.
Oh, there's the folded one. Okay.
Yes, so that's
That's
up
sweet of her.
on. So here's the best part.
I love that.
The artist, because I was afraid that the poster artist would be offended that I did that to his work.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
artist, I don't remember who it was, but he sent me a message on Instagram and he goes, "Hey buddy, I'm gonna fold a night 1 and night 2 and mail it to you." And I was like, don't fucking do that. Do not do that.
Don't ruin any more stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a collector. There's early merch. I already had night 1, 2, and 3. This was a second night 3 that
So you already
folded.
had one?
Yes. So
Okay.
I already had one and I told him that. And I explained it. He's like, oh, that's fucking great.
Holy
But so
shit, you are a legend, dude.
It was super cool.
I want to go with you and troll people.
Oh, dude, let's do it. Let's fucking go. I
Don't
mean, there-
ruin people's day. I love that.
This trolling is brought to you by Volume.com. We are in the Volume.com studio out here getting the fans a they need to be heard as well. We always hear about the musicians, but we never hear about the people in the fucking trenches. You're out here
ruining other people's experiences.
You're out here. Your kids probably don't even know your name because you're out here. Because you're out here at 6 a.m.
When are you going to get them in on the trolls? You got to use these kids to troll.
Oh, dude,
people.
you better believe.
Oh, like chiclets.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my kids, both of my daughters' pregnancies were announced from Telluride Bluegrass Festival. I have brought them. My youngest daughter went to Dead and Company at 6 weeks old.
Hell yeah.
Music is part of our life, and I tell them there is a healthy way to introduce your kids to music and live music and shows, right? And there's a time and a place. The Billy scene's a little different, so I only bring them to Renewal because it's an outdoor festival.
Why is it different?
The Wookery.
Dude.
Is it just how do these Wooks afford these high tickets?
So I mean,
The Wookery.
dude,
That's all they do.
How do they do it? I just told you they fucking buy a poster and they flip
They
it.
flip it, yeah.
Oh, and then, so they can go to the next show.
And then they're locked in.
Yeah, we're just fucking bootlegging our own shit.
Well, and that's what it is. But what you start doing is creating a following. You can go and, like, depending on which poster artist you're using, like, some people will literally just show up for the poster.
Right.
And leave?
And then bounce. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, they'll pay
'cause it's
$50
outside.
for the ticket. I mean,
'Cause
you're
they don't
making
fucking
$250 profit.
Yep.
You don't have to watch Bluegrass.
And it's part of the
Jesus. We got Molly Tuttle on the podcast tonight. Just a reminder, Nicholas, we have Molly Tuttle.
Can I toss him instead of a chair? Is that good?
That'd be awesome.
But
It's my job.
But yeah, so for me, what all this was, and the poster folding and throwing a chair is, I'm trying to stand up against some of the bullshit that's being created in our community.
Right.
And I'm trying to bring a conversation and show a little bit of a different way for us to do things. And like, I roll with a crew.
Yeah.
And what happened, because people are like, well, what if he has to take a piss? Well, guess what? I got 5 of my homies with me. If there's 6 chairs and one of them's fucking empty, that's not getting
That's not the
tossed.
problem here.
That's not the problem.
Yeah.
It is the people that just drop and disappear.
Yeah.
And then they feel it's the entitlement, right? It's, oh, well, I deserve this. And it's the same thing with the rail. These fucking rail riders are like,
I drove here 8 hours drunk last night.
Cool, loser.
well, yeah,
Get a poster.
and then somebody like some young fan or some new fan wants to like come up. They're like, "Oh, it's GA. Let me get to the front of the rail."
Yeah.
And these fucking rail riders are like, "Get
Gatekeepers.
out of here!"
Yeah, yeah.
They're 1,000% gatekeepers.
That's
and for
such
me,
bullshit.
They're
and
literally
for me,
keeping
it's like-
gates.
They're keeping gates.
But for me, it's like, fuck that, dude. Like, spread the love. Give those kids, say like, "Hey, I'll give you one song. Go fucking ride
Yeah.
the rail for one song, and then get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And like, that's the way that you should do it. And so
You
for
are a fucking saint, and there needs to be more fucking fans like you, and there are. And the people, the little percent who are the gatekeepers, who are ruining it for a lot of these fans
they're
that
the
are
minority.
just like
They're the fucking
big time.
minority. But the problem is people aren't a 6'4", 300-pound island.
Exactly.
Right? So they don't know
That's
how
true,
to
though.
hire you to come to our shows. I know you probably don't like my music, but I'm just gonna have you
Andy,
come.
don't fucking lie. I do love your music, okay? And for me, what it is it's like, try to build it the right way. I definitely agree that I was a little aggro with the chair tossing, but I was trying to prove a fucking
You got to
point.
prove a point.
And people are
That's
like,
how
well,
wars start.
they're
You know,
like,
a little
well,
bit of aggression.
They're
in
like,
the
well,
beginning.
why didn't you just walk to the front of the line and drop the chair at the front of the line? Because then the chairs would still fucking be there.
Exactly.
So for me, what I wanted to do in that moment was say, fuck these chairs, which has literally become my motto.
You're a fucking saint.
Fuck these chairs, fuck those chairs, fuck those people. And if they had something to
This mine's
say,
like half baked. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool sitting there in that chair.
fuck you,
I'm out.
Yes, 100%.
fucking go.
And
So did anybody try to fight you or anything? You're too big.
No one's gonna
what do you
fight
think?
you. Look
Nobody,
how fu-
nobody said
Yeah.
shit. I mean, there are a fuck ton of keyboard warriors, and I will say some of you motherfuckers said some good shit.
They are funny sometimes.
Other
Yeah.
motherfuckers went after my wife and kids. That was not cool.
See, that's I
That's
get shit
psychotic.
talked a lot, and I'll go after them too.
Yep.
Then they start calling me and shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, now your true colors are showing.
Yeah.
Well, and then it's like, okay, oh, you're a fat fuck. Oh, I never knew that. Like,
Oh,
Jesus
really?
Christ, how? Wow, thank
Am
you
I
for letting
big?
me know,
Why? Because
right?
they got offended because they're one of the fucking gatekeepers.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why
Little
what's
hoes.
funny is people are like, oh, did anybody say anything to you? And what I tell them is, they're not in their chair. What the fuck are they going to say?
That's
Right.
true.
Nobody is there to say anything.
They're at work, so no, they didn't.
They're sure as fuck not at work.
Well, not at work,
They're-
but whatever.
They're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
something,
That
right?
shows what mind state I'm in about
Yeah.
these people.
But that's where for me it was like, and even if I did have a confrontation, it would have been an opportunity to have a constructive conversation
Right.
to be like, hey, what the fuck?
So you're out here getting every poster.
Dude, it is my like I said, I have over 500 show posters.
But he's doing it like in a
doing
legit
it.
way.
I'm a fan.
Like I have 120 Laker jerseys.
Yes.
Like I get that. But this is your last moment to say what you want to say to the fucking gatekeepers. You're on.
What I want to tell people is to share the fucking love and share the experience. If you get extra posters, sell it to the guy that couldn't get one for face. Get it into the hands of the fans.
Yes.
Stop trying to make a fucking dollar. This is a feeling. We love music because how it makes us feel. Let's stop trying to capitalize it and turn it into some entitlement issue. I know that and Billy says, hey, I respect the hustle. And I do too. But for me, I really, truly feel that we can do better.
Yes.
Do better. And my last thing I will say is fuck those chairs.
Suck the dick from the back, cheers.
Yeah.
All right, enjoy Molly Tuttle. This rant was sponsored by Volume.com. As he's like saying like, fuck corporate media. This rant was sponsored.
You're like, I'm sorry.
All right, guys, enjoy Molly Tuttle. Cody, that was a breath of fresh air. You're the fucking man.
Hell yeah, dude.
You're gonna be our inside source.
Let's go.
You know how there's like people who are like in like moles.
Yes.
Okay, you tell us what's going on.
I'm a big motherfucking
Well,
mole.
usually moles are anonymous, so he has to be something else.
All right, we'll blur his
But he
face.
doesn't need to be anonymous. He's
We'll
sick.
blur
Oh,
his
yeah.
whole body.
They won't know. Just the Packers hat. Everybody fucking knows. Just the Packers
Just the guy a head taller than us and the bright yellow hat.
Well, thanks for doing this the right way and not fucking.
Thanks for helping spread the right message.
Dude, we got
yeah.
to. I mean,
We
this is a
appreciate
community, bro. This is
Come on, people,
we're in
get
this
a life.
together. So get a fucking life, gatekeepers, and fucking.
It's okay.
Let everyone enjoy it. You
It's
can't
ju-
just like hoard your favorite band. Let
just a
everyone
concert.
enjoy your favorite band.
Billy Strings is not your girlfriend.
Billy String's not your girlfriend.
Yeah, everyone
Okay.
else. Yeah.
I know you probably masturbate to him on when you're alone in your mother's basement, but.
And now here's Molly
Keep it-
Tuttle.
Stop gatekeeping our friend. All right, enjoy Molly Tuttle. Bye. Wow, I got so jacked up on that interview with the chair throwing guy. I forgot to talk about our sponsors. Volume.com, guys. Yes, the best live stream company in the business. Volume.com for all your live and content needs. If you're a creator, if you're a music creator, comedian, actor, we need to take the power back. These social medias are gatekeeping, and I know very similar to what we were talking about, but they're gatekeeping content. And we need to take the power back, get our stuff on Volume.com, get all your stuff on Volume.com. And if you're just a person who just likes to hear live sets and content, head to Volume.com. All your favorite bands are on there. You might as well see what sets they have of your favorite bands. And then, podcast fans, Andy Frasco page. We need to get all the likes. We're about to announce our Patreon. We're going to basically do it for free. But you have to, the people who like the page before we announce a Patreon gets it for free. Yes. So head to volume.com/Andy Frasco. Hit that like button before we announce the Patreon. So you are dialed in to see what all this extra content we're about to announce. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited. All right, guys. Enjoy Molly Tuttle, and I'll catch you on the tail end. All right. Molly Tuttle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Wow, rock star. Just out here, just kicking ass for a good cause and writing great songs. It's an honor to. I don't think we've ever met, or maybe we met once. But
I saw your set at Hogs for a Cause like a few years ago.
Oh God!
And I saw you running around, and it was awesome.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
But I don't know if we met. Maybe we said hi or something. I don't think we like officially met.
No, well, let's get to know each other right now.
Yeah.
I met your dad. I actually sat in with your dad.
You did? When did you sit in with him?
It was during I was doing a show with Steve Poltz and your dad.
Oh,
Yeah, so tell
that's
me about Palo Alto. Like you grew up out there?
Yeah. I grew up in Palo Alto. My dad kind of moved there in like the 80s. He grew up on a farm in Illinois, had a bluegrass family band growing up. My grandfather played the banjo. My grandpa was a farmer and like a huge bluegrass fan. They'd go see the Grand Ole Opry. They'd go to bluegrass festivals all over Illinois. My grandma didn't play an instrument, but she was like a taper. Like we still have all her old cassettes of bluegrass festivals they'd go to. So she would like tape everything. And so they loved bluegrass. And So my dad grew up playing and then moved out to the Bay Area because he kind of wanted to just get a change of scenery, get off the farm. And he loved David Grisman, who was out in the Bay playing a lot. Tony Rice was out there, and he thought that would be exciting. So he ended up stumbling into a music store in Palo Alto, and they needed a banjo teacher. So for up until just a few years ago, he was teaching at Griffin Stringed Instruments. It's a music store, and they have these little rooms in the back where there's music teachers who go in and teach private lessons and some group classes every day. So he was doing that 6 days a week up until the pandemic, when they stopped having teachers to kind of expand the space in the store. And now he teaches online. But yeah, it's kind of like a roundabout way to have grown up in Silicon Valley but play bluegrass, and people are always asking me that about that. But I feel like I have to explain like how it all came about.
It's
and yeah, my mom's a big music fan. She doesn't really play music, but she loves bluegrass and roots music, and that's how my parents met.
Did they stereotype you? Like, she's from Silicon Valley. She must be a rich girl. You know, like, did you ever have to deal with any of those stereotypes? But
yeah, I do feel like I kind of have to like just do a disclaimer. Like, my parents are both teachers. Like, I'm not like, don't come from like millionaire family just because I'm from Palo Alto. I understand it's a very like privileged place to grow up, though.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's very passive aggressive in California. I grew up in Southern California, but I went to school in San Francisco, and I always felt like it was very passive aggressive about how they approached feelings and stuff. Like, were you picked on when you were a kid at all, or what was your childhood like?
It was funny, like, because I grew up, I lost my hair when I was a kid, alopecia, and I wear wigs now a lot, but when I was a kid, I never did. So I found that California, people are so, open, everyone, like, open with their feelings almost in a passive aggressive way. Like, people were always commenting on, people would come up to me like, honey, I'm praying for you. I get that down south, but like, just trying to like have this connection with me as a small child, but like also making so many assumptions about me and just feeling free to kind of like say whatever and like, say it in like a positive way, but still making kind of the same assumptions that I get anywhere. And then I remember taking a trip to like the East Coast when I was a kid, and nobody bothered me about it. It was like just in California, I was constantly getting people coming up to me.
Yeah. What's your take on judging a book by its cover?
Yeah, well, I think kind of going through that experience when I was younger just made me a lot more, at least trying to be aware of when I do that myself, because I can't blame people for assuming anything about me, because I'm sure I've done the same thing with someone else. But it does try to made me like take a step back and really just kind of notice when I am judging someone based on their appearance, or I hear someone, make me want to question it a little bit more and just be like, we shouldn't. Yeah. We know someone's whole story, and you shouldn't really make assumptions based on what someone looks like.
Yeah, or like. I think what fucked us. Sorry, I'm cussing. I don't know if you cuss. I think what screwed us is social media. We have 6 seconds to judge someone's post.
Right?
So we do that. We look at it. I get it all, and we move on. We move on. Maybe this like ADD culture is kind of reassessing how quickly we shoo things away or not.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I know. I feel like it's so gratifying in a way to just see one picture and like make a snap judgment. But
yeah. How because I think about this too, because like reading your story or the notes I have is like it kind of feels like Partridge Family in a hair, where like you guys were a family band. You guys did you fall in love with it or fall in love with music, or were you forced to play it in the beginning? Like, tell me those first couple steps of you really deep diving and falling in love with songwriting and deep diving and falling in love with guitar.
Yeah, I loved music as a kid. I remember being like really little and just hearing my dad play and wanting him to play me the same songs over and over again. And I just loved listening to music. We'd have jam sessions, or my dad would have friends over and they'd all play, and I was always really interested in it. I tried to play the fiddle, but I don't think I ever had the attention span for that instrument, because when you first start playing, it sounds horrible. At least it did when I first started. So I didn't take naturally to that. And then I tried some piano lessons, but didn't love. I had like kind of a strict teacher who I didn't really love. And then finally I asked for a guitar. And then one day my dad brought home this little baby Taylor from his music store where he worked, and just started showing me simple chords casually. And that I really took to, because I liked that it felt more like just this fun activity I could do with my dad. And yeah, I don't know. I knew music was kind of like my big passion as a kid. I loved listening to music and playing it. And then my younger brothers, I think, saw me playing and it made them want to do it too. And so then we all started playing together once we got a little older and had played for a couple years. And then also my dad had some students who were the same age as me and my brothers. So we'd like get together with them, make little bands, play at like the local pizza parlor down the street. And that was always really fun too. It felt like I had my friends at school, and then I had this other life with these other friends.
Right.
I was never into like sports or any other extracurriculars. That was kind of like my only thing.
Yeah. Were you, was it easy for you to, like have friends, or were you a homebody, or did you like being alone more, or like being with the family? What was your personality like when you were a kid?
I always had like a couple really close friends. So I feel like I always had like a best friend. I was never like someone who was super gregarious in like a big group setting, but I would have these like really close friends who I'd hang out with all the time. So I was social, but not like a social butterfly.
Did they play music?
Sometimes,
like your close friends?
Yeah, some of them did. I remember like one of my best friends in middle school, we would get together every day. Like anytime we had an off period or during lunch, we would just run to the band room, and we were playing just like Green Day, Rancid, Rage Against the Machine. We were into like rock stuff, or like finding songs on YouTube and trying to learn those. So it was different from what I was playing like with my family, but still really fun to have a best friend who I got to play music with.
Yeah, and like it's nice to have your own life, you know. Like I read your story, like you're making a duet record with your dad at 13. Like this is crazy, Molly. This is like, did you feel like you were that comfortable on the guitar? Was your dad saying we should make this, or like was that like, are you like, you and your dad are just so close that it was just like you just loved writing music together?
Yeah, we were always playing together, and it was definitely my dad's idea to like make a little album together, because I think it was like a fun project for him to get, he like ordered mics on eBay, he learned how to engineer, and he would just kind of lay down like a rhythm track, and then I would come in and do my part and sing, and it was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. We just did it like at home, and it was cool. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I'm like kind of scared to hear what it sounds like.
Are you like that? Are you like, I'm like that too. I do not want to listen to my first couple records. I'm like, I don't even want to go back to those memories of puberty and like stuff.
Definitely, that was such like a cringy time.
Yeah. What did you not like about yourself during puberty?
Oh, I didn't like a ton of stuff. I didn't like, I feel like I nitpicked how I looked. Obviously, the not having hair became like a bigger issue then, because I was like, well, I was wearing hats all the time at school, but I kind of want to start wearing wigs, but I didn't want to just show up one day with a full head of hair and be like, it was scary. I didn't like that I felt a lot of like social anxiety, which I still have, but I've kind of like worked through it. But at the time it was like kind of overwhelming, especially like in a group or like talking to boys I liked or whatever. It was just, I had a lot of just feeling self-conscious about myself socially.
Why do you think that was?
Like everyone in my family or a lot of people in my family are pretty reserved. And I think it's like partially just that. And then partially just like feeling uncomfortable at that age.
Right. Yeah.
But music was like an instant in. It was like if people were into like playing music at school, and then they knew that I played guitar. That was kind of how I could like still make friends and feel cool.
Yeah, it's weird how we departmentalize social anxiety, because now look at you, you're playing in front of hundreds, thousands of people. How did you get to that point from social anxiety to getting on the stage and being comfortable?
Yeah, that took a pretty long time. I think I was early on. I remember feeling pretty comfortable like playing on stage, but it took me a long time to feel comfortable engaging with the audience, kind of being expressive on stage and telling stories, telling jokes. That took a lot longer than I feel like as a kid or growing up. I could stand on stage and play a song, but it was hard to really do much more than that performance-wise, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's so fascinating how we just like turn that. Because like, are you still like? What about when you're in crowds of people, not on stage? You have that anxiety of like, I don't want to, like that angst of not really want to talk to people, or have you let go? Have you let go of that fear?
I feel like I've kind of let go of that. One time I do feel like that is like, if I like smoke weed, I get that way. So
me too. I can't smoke weed anymore.
I can't do it in a crowd. That's like the one time I still feel that way.
Give me an example. Do you have a story of one time you smoked weed and then walked into the crowd and just like kind of froze?
There was one time I took an edible at a festival. So we played like an early set, and then we had a late night set at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I took an edible in between, and then someone asked me to sit in with them. And I said yes, and I had forgotten I'd taken it. I thought it was like going to be super mild, so I just kind of completely forgot and agreed to sit in with someone. It was not mild at all, and I was like having a total panic attack on stage.
Oh my
God. My band escorted me. So usually I feel like if I sit in with someone, I'd hang out and like say thanks, or like thanks for having me afterwards. I was like freaking out, and my band was all watching me in the crowd. They knew what was going on, so they were laughing, and that made me even more paranoid. So they like walked around me like bodyguards to like, we were in a Sprinter, and I just lay down in there for 2 hours because I couldn't be around people. And I texted the person I'd sat in with and said that I felt sick.
Oh my God. He's like, he just walked out like, they're probably like, what the fuck? This rock star doesn't even say bye. She says, just like walked out, peaced out. But you're really like losing your mind, dude. I can't.
And now I would never do that. Was years ago, and I was like, never again. That was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I didn't know how much edible I ate, and I had to walk on stage, and I felt like I had a heart attack. I was like having a heart attack. I'm sweating.
I was too. I think I was having a panic attack. Yeah.
And like, you don't really like, did it start coming on right before you got on stage, or like right when you got on stage, that's when it came on?
It was before too. Like we were kind of hanging backstage ready to go on, and I was like,
oh, that's the worst.
I can't even talk.
That's the yeah. That will retire me for any edible.
Definitely learned my lesson there.
Tell me about your relationship with your brother. You guys are still close and all, or does he still play music, or what's your relationship like with him?
Yeah, Sully still plays. His band AJ Lee and Blue Summit. They are playing all over the place. So AJ is someone we grew up playing with. We were like, it was like a family band plus AJ. So that was always confusing people. We called ourselves the Tuttles with AJ Lee, which is like not a very good name, but it was very self-explanatory.
The Tuttles with AJ? That's what it was called?
Yeah, the Tuttles with AJ Lee. She's a great singer, mandolin player. We met her at a festival and just kind of started playing shows, and then it was going so well. We started like booking festivals and stuff. Around when I was 15, 14. And so she now has her own band, and my brother plays guitar in it, Sully. And so yeah, he's out. We like cross paths. We'll both be at Telluride Bluegrass Festival this summer. I see him out on the road. And then when we come home for the holidays, or if I'm visiting California, I'll get together with him. And I love playing with him. He's great. He's such a great guitar player. And then I have a younger brother, Michael, who played mandolin in the Tuttle band. And so he doesn't play all that much anymore. He kind of like went the more practical route of going into like the tech scene. But
so
yeah,
easy.
he has like a real job.
Yeah, it's so easy to do that, right? When you're living out there.
Yeah, totally. It was definitely a lot more kind of like, you know, he really wanted to have some job security, and me and Sully were more like, we'll just, you know,
Let's see how it
not finish
goes.
college and do whatever. Yeah. But yeah, he's great. He still plays mandolin, and he has started playing guitar and entering contests on guitar, which he's had fun doing.
Are you
But
guys?
yeah, when we're together, we play sometimes.
Is it competitive between you guys at all, or like is he like how do they? How do I don't know how to say this. Like, if my brother or sister was in the same career I was, I would either be like kind of competitive or kind of angry if they get successful over me or whatever. Is there any of that kind of animosity between the siblings, like friendly competition to be the best you can be?
I don't think so. I've never felt that way towards my brothers. I know when we were growing up, they would have like little contests where they would try to like play faster than the other one.
Yeah.
Both of them ended up being able to play extremely fast, but it was like kind of a very unmusical way to play together, where they'd both be like playing the same song, just trying to play it faster than the other one.
It's like no one's listening to each other. The music's all about
you're
listening.
like doing the opposite of listening to the other person. You're trying to play over them. So that was kind of funny, but I don't feel like we get super competitive. And I saw like my brother did a interview with, I think it was Bluegrass Today, which is like a bluegrass website, and it was so cute. He kept saying how I was like his guitar inspiration growing up, and I was like, oh, adorable.
Did he ever tell you that, or
no?
He's
but
proud.
I read it's public knowledge now, publicly stated.
That's sweet. Did you message him and say, "Why didn't you tell me earlier? We could have been bonding more." You know, like
no, we had like a family thread where my mom sent us all the article, and we're like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh man. So tell me about your move when you moved to Nashville in 2015?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you moved to Nashville 2015. What was that transition like? Did you have mentors helping you out throughout that? Like, how was your band doing before you moved to Nashville, or were you touring before that? Like, give me like the scoop right before you took the move to Nashville.
Yeah, I wasn't touring a whole lot. I was trying to I would play like whatever gigs I could get. I didn't have a booking agent, didn't have like a manager really. And so yeah, when I moved to Nashville, it was kind of like starting from the ground up. I had like, played a fair amount just kind of around the Boston area and booked some festivals here and there. So I was trying, and then I was also teaching music at music camps, go out and teach for a week, and I had some private lesson students to help me pay the bills, and I enjoyed teaching too. So I moved to Nashville and crowdfunded my first EP, Rise, that I made. And then from there, I think I got a booking agent after that. So I'd been in Nashville for maybe a year or so before I really started being able to tour and put a band together. So yeah, it all kind of slowly built up. But when I moved to Nashville, I felt like I knew people, but I didn't once I got there, I was like, whoa, it's kind of hard to actually, break in to the scene. And you have to be super proactive about like going out all the time, meeting new people, following up. When I moved to Boston, went to Berkeley, I felt like it was this instant kind of community that I fell into.
Yeah.
I guess I was expecting that again, but we were no longer like in college and everyone was doing their own thing. So it was harder. It took me a few years to really find my people.
Yeah. What was I didn't realize you went to Berkeley. So did you graduate or did you
I went for 2.5 years, and technically I did this thing called the artist diploma that my mom really wanted me to graduate. So this was kind of like a compromise where they have this program where you can, if you want to really just like go to music school, but maybe not get a bachelor's degree and get out there and perform instead. There's like a program they had at the time. I don't know if they still do it, but it's basically you can kind of choose whatever classes you want, stay for a couple of years, and then you get a diploma, but it's not really like a college degree. So I technically walked at graduation, but didn't complete the full thing.
I'll clap to that. Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go. I was talking to Kyle too. Kyle, I'm starting to get really close with Kyle, and he was telling me I guess he lived in Boston too. Did you know him back then?
I actually met him because he came to, I was at IBMA, so that's the Bluegrass Music Association. They put on this week where everyone goes, kind of a conference-y thing for people who like bluegrass. And I met him because my family was doing a showcase at it when I was a kid, and you would just play in like a conference room of a hotel and hope that some booking agents or whoever would come in and see you and want to book you for a gig. But Kyle came and was like, I'm a Tuttle and I play bluegrass. So we met him that way. And then when I went to Boston, I think I reached out to him because I knew he was at Berkeley and he was one of the people I knew in the Boston scene. So yeah, I connected with him once I got to Boston. But I think he had already finished Berkeley. So I saw him around here and there. And then, yeah, and then I think I moved to Nashville and then he ended up in Nashville too. So just kind of crossed paths with him for years. But hadn't gotten to play with him too much until we started the band.
Yeah, it's so crazy how that, like, you were just like two ships passing in the night. You both lived in Boston. You didn't really like kind of vibe with each other yet, but like, and then I didn't even know what even before that with the family band.
Yeah. So I met him when I was a teenager, I guess. And then I guess I was still a teenager when I moved to Boston. And then he just kind of like, I think we maybe even played a gig or two together just at this local dive bar, the Cantab Lounge in Boston.
Yeah, Cantab Lounge. Yeah.
So I think I played with him here and there, but like didn't see him around all the time. And then, yeah, just kind of wound up again, both in Nashville. And that was the same with Dom, who's in my band. He also went to Berkeley, I think, a little before I did. And he was kind of kicking around the Boston scene, then ended up in Nashville. Bronwyn and I were both at Berkeley at the same time, and I think she's the only one in the band who like finished the full 4 years.
Damn, it's so crazy how many musicians are coming from Berkeley, and like it's like everyone either had a year, like no one's really graduated, you know, like, and then when you graduate, everyone calls you a nerd, and I'm like, oh man, but it's just so fascinating. And then so you moved to Nashville. You're starting to get your feet wet a little bit. You started to get a booking agent and stuff. Who were like the people, like who are your friends that you're kind of growing your career with through those like beginning years?
Yeah, so when I first moved to Nashville, I lived in this woman's basement, and her name was Nancy Cardwell. She was actually like the head of IBMA. I lived in her basement, but I was kind of far away from the people I was meeting. So I wanted to move to East Nashville. Then I randomly went on Facebook and saw Billy Strings posted. I just met him like briefly a couple months before that. He was like, me and Allie are looking for a roommate. And so I moved in with them, and that was awesome because it was like, not only did I get to, you know, see Billy, and then across the street was Lindsay Lou. And she was always like subletting rooms to other musicians. There were always people crashing at either our house or their house. So I went from kind of being far off I was kind of like in Madison, but like deep into Madison where I'd have to get on like the freeway to get into town really, to all of a sudden I was kind of like in this central part where there were just musicians everywhere. So that's how I really like suddenly then I could just walk across the street to like, they would have house concerts, bluegrass jams.
Was Anders living out in Madison yet?
I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't know Anders until a few years ago. So I'm not sure. Now everyone's like moved to Madison. At the time, I was like the only one in Madison.
It's like a little bluegrass cult out there now, dude. Like Vince Herman, all the whole crew.
I know. Now I'm like, dang, I should move to Madison. All my friends are there now. But at the time, Madison wasn't really where people were going.
Yeah, I think it like gentrified like recently, right?
Yeah, and I think it is kind of starting to get gentrified there. And then a lot of the musicians have kind of been pushed out of East Nashville. And then also there's like a few really cool places in Madison, like Dee's Country.
Yeah, Dee's is great.
Yeah. So that's kind of brought a lot of people.
So you were living with Billy and Allie. You had Lindsay Lou there too. And this is what I love about life, you know? And then Kyle's now in love with Lindsay. It's just like, I just love this whole parallel of like, when you find your people, it's just like, it sticks, you know? And like, so did Billy start making money and then kick you out of the house? Or like, what was that like? Or did you like move out? Did you fall in love? Like, did you get in a relationship? What was it like?
Yeah, I think we all just kind of I kind of wanted to get my own place. The house was falling apart. The day we moved out, it flooded.
Oh my
The pipe burst. The basement flooded. There was black mold in the house. It was just a little bit of like it was kind of just like a house you have like a bunch of roommates.
It's like a
in,
frat
and then
house. Like,
but not forever. Yeah, you don't want to live there forever. So they wanted their own place. He was just getting like it was small too. Like we had too much. We ended up having way too much stuff for this house, and so yeah, it just made sense. I think we maybe lived there for like 2 years, and then I got my own place. They got their own place. We were all still, I think, around the same area, but yeah, it just kind of came to its natural conclusion. Oh, and then also I think the people who owned the house wanted to like renovate it or something.
Yeah.
So, and then that was the beginning, sadly, of people not living on that street anymore. Because then Lindsay ended up having to move out.
oh
So
man.
now I don't even know if musicians live there anymore. But it was great while it lasted.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. And then when did you meet Sierra Hull?
I met her when I was like 11.
What?
Again at IVMA. So like, I feel like so many of my
This is
stories
crazy,
have been
dude.
this like nerdy thing, but yeah, I met her. They would have this thing every year that like it was called Kids on Bluegrass, and it was so much fun because they would just bring kids from all over the country to the conference.
Yeah.
And you would kind of work all week like putting together the show. And so Sierra did it, I did it. I met Sarah Jarose at that as well, and like a bunch of people I'm still friends with. Jared Walker and Corey Walker, the Walker brothers, who Jared plays with Billy and Corey's in East Nash Grass.
Yeah.
And so I remember feeling super intimidated because I felt like all the other kids were like already like pro level musicians, and I was kind of like, still figuring out what I was doing there. But yeah, Sierra was so sweet. Even as a kid, I remember she just had this totally like mature personality, was like a total shredder. And yeah, I met her there, and then we kind of kept in touch and became better friends once I moved to Nashville because she had been here for a while already.
No, I got a question about that. Like, when you feel intimidated, what made you keep going? Like, you could have just quit when you saw all these, like, oh my God, look at all these virtuoso people. I'm never going to be that way. Did you have like a mentor? Did your dad help you like kind of like stick the path? Or were you always just strong willed as a kid?
I think it just like, it felt like, I felt like giving up sometimes. And then, I'd kind of get over it and just be like, well, maybe if I just practice even more each day, I could be like that someday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it just it made me determined in a way, and it showed me what was possible. Like it was also really inspiring to see kids my age who are so advanced on their instruments and just already writing these wonderful songs, and really just kind of like getting started as like a full-fledged artist at such a young age. So it was pretty inspiring, and I think it was good for me to see what like kids from all around the country were doing and get out of my bubble a little bit.
Yeah, it's humbling too, like you're like you're in Palo Alto. Yeah, I'm a badass out here. I'm just out shredding this shit, and then you come out to this IBMA. I'm like, oh shit, I know.
And then all the like Nashville kids are like,
the Nashville kids like,
so hard.
Like, fuck you, Molly. I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. So this is very fascinating to me. From 2015, you moved to Nashville. You do the Kickstarter for the 7 songs, right? And then a year later, in 2017, you got a record deal?
Yeah. Then I signed to Compass. Yeah.
So was it those 2 years of your career, was it like very fast? Like, oh my God, everything's happening really quickly? Or was like, thank God, I've been waiting for this moment my whole fucking life, Like, what was it like in your head,
I think it always, like, it did feel kind of fast. But at the same time, it was like, it's always felt like this kind of slow build for me anyway. Like, I just feel like I've been kind of working at this since I started playing and like writing my own songs. And, but so much happened in like that couple of years when I moved to Nashville. I think when I moved to Nashville, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I'll be here a couple of years, and then I don't know, maybe I'll just like end up teaching music, doing what my dad did. but I at least got to try. And then those couple of years, I was like, well, I think this is possible. I can, make a living doing. Yeah, and I felt so supported by the bluegrass community, and all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, people are, recognizing what I'm doing a little bit.
What was a bigger accomplishment for you in your head? Was being the first woman to win Guitar Player of the Year or winning a Grammy?
Ooh, it's so hard to say because they both happen at like different
eras in your life. Yeah.
I mean, the IBMA was so special just because it was like I was saying, I grew up going to that, and I remember going to the award show as a kid, and that felt like the Grammys to me. I would see like my heroes, like Tony Rice would be there, Alison Krauss would be there. It was so cool, and so then to feel like lifted up by that community from like beginning to go there when I was 11 to then winning the Guitar Player Award, it was like, this is such a dream come true. And then the Grammys was incredible because that's like the whole music world. And I love that it's voted on by your peers. And so it was like the same feeling, but kind of like, expanded in a way.
What more felt like the Illuminati? The bluegrass IBMA scene or the Grammys? Like, what did you like? What when you see that bigger level of like, I don't know if the Illuminati. I've been watching a lot of Twitter conspiracy, so maybe the Illuminati thing is not the word to say. But like, what felt more culty? Like, is it harder to get into like the bluegrass club or like the Grammy club?
Ooh, I think I would have to go with the IBMA. It's like
right. I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say the same thing.
They're kind of cutthroat. Like you got to get in with. It's a smaller scene, I think.
Yeah. Well, Nashville's kind of culty like that. Like it's very. I don't know. Like I love it. Maybe just because I'm Jewish, I'm like one of the only Jews that go out there and hang out. But I feel like I go out there and sometimes like. It took me like 5 or 6 years to actually finally get accepted into the Nashville community. It's like, I feel it's very.
They call it your town, and I think that's true. I'm 9 years now, so I'm like, what's going to happen in my 10th year?
You're about to like drink lamb's blood or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna initiate it.
But what keeps you? What keeps you? I have a couple questions for you, and then I'll let you get back to your day off. I know we both only have a couple days off in this world. What keeps you inspired to keep being great?
I mean, I think for me, I'm like, I know that I feel like my music is. I think with each album I make, it's like I'm more proud of it, and I feel like I still have so much left to do. I love kind of. I love all styles of music, and I want to really explore like what I can do with my skill set, my guitar playing, songwriting, singing. I kind of felt like this reset after the pandemic where before that I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. And then I was writing all these bluegrass songs. And I was like, I really want to make some music that is so true to the music I grew up listening to and like where my roots really are. And now I'm kind of back in that place of like, I just want to explore different styles, different sounds. And so I'm excited for making something that's fresh and like different from my last couple projects. And hopefully it's my best thing yet. But I'm back in that songwriting space, which I love because it feels like there's so many like endless possibilities. Yeah,
totally. I was talking with Bill about that, like the difference between practicing guitar and being in the mindset to have a vessel. Like, I don't know. I believe in like this vessel opening when you're songwriting. It's like sometimes it's not there. And then when it's there, like you have to absorb as much of it as you can,
Yeah, for sure.
So what are you writing about? What do you think about in your head right now that you're talking about in your songs?
Ooh, a lot of my songs are inspired by, kind of like different places I've been. Right now, I feel like the last couple songs I wrote were really had kind of inspired by like the Southwest, which I find is such a cool area of the country. And then also just being on the road, having that like wanderlust that I've always felt of like loving to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I write a lot with my partner, Ketch.
Honestly, he's my favorite person on the planet, dude.
Yeah, and he's been on your podcast, he was telling me.
Oh, he's so brilliant. Like, how do you keep up? I mean, you're a brilliant person too, but that man is crazy. Like,
I know. He never slows down. It's crazy.
and I loved how he supported the gun violence, and that was really important to me to hear him talk about that. But like, I love what you guys are like Jay and Beyonce of Nashville. It's so cool to see.
Wow.
No, it's really cool to see. Like, what did Catch teach you about love and life and growing and keeping a career around?
I feel like just having like a partner who really believes in you, it like for me, it, like brings out the best in me. And he's like, a lot of the songs we've written together are like things that I wouldn't have thought were even worth writing about. Like we went and visited my grandma on her farm, and then we came back and wrote like my song Flatland Girl about like my grandparents' farm. And I just never thought like now looking back, I'm like, that is a cool story and like part of who I am. But stuff like that, I feel like he pulls out of me in a way.
What's he teach you about songwriting?
A lot. I think he's like such a great lyricist, and he just has like an endless flow of ideas.
Yeah.
It's kind of helped me, open up to that a little bit more. Like I feel like I kind of get in my head sometimes when I'm writing. And I'm a little like I have to like think about it a lot. He's more kind of like spits out ideas and verbalizes them. So I try to be more like that too, because I think that's helpful.
Oh my God, to have a scholar like that on your corner to like just make you feel comfortable with like splurting out just like random thoughts, because like you've lived a crazy life too, dude. Don't like you really have. Like you're very inspiring, Molly, and I just want to keep speaking out. Keep speaking out and keep being the person we all know you can be. And what do you like better, playing guitar or writing songs?
I think playing guitar comes more easily to me.
Yeah.
But writing songs is really where I'm like, I feel like a song can reach so many people. That to me is like what I resonate with the most, is like hearing a lyric or like a melody that I just love and resonate with. Guitar, definitely I feel super like there's a few good guitar players I absolutely love, but I feel like songs are just universal, and it kind of speaks to more people in a way. Yeah,
totally. I was always thinking about that. Like, what was your first moment you finally said, I feel like I'm a good songwriter? What was the song?
Ooh, I think I've been like, I don't know. I've always felt kind of like self-conscious about songs. But then when I made my record Crooked Tree, I felt like there was some that I felt really proud of, like that, like my song Crooked Tree that I wrote with my friend Melody. That one I remember when we wrote, I was like, hell yeah, I love this song.
Yeah. Isn't that song about alopecia too?
Yeah, it kind of is. And she has had like similar experiences too. Growing up, she had scoliosis, so like her back was crooked and she had to wear a back brace in school. And so we both feel like crooked trees. And that was kind of the first song. I've tried so hard to write a song about my experience with alopecia, and that was the first one I wrote where I was like, I'm really proud of this. This is kind of like sums up a lot of why I think music is important and why I want to keep getting out there and playing shows and performing, spreading the message.
Yeah. And don't do it if you're burnt out. You tell the managers and the labels that you need some time off, Molly. We don't want you to burn out.
You too.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm going to take my own advice as well on that.
Yeah, we all need to take.
I tell that to Bill too. I feel like he's really chilling out now. Like he's taking a lot of more time off this year and stuff. And
that's great.
I'm really happy that he's doing that.
He's worked insanely hard.
Oh my God, I was so worried for him the last 2 years. I'm like, bro, you are working crazy hard right now. Yeah. But I think about that with you too, Molly. I see you everywhere too. You're out there in the streets, just getting out there.
Yeah, we're all just.
It's just so hard. The music industry just takes so much out of you, and if you're not willing to do all the work, they're just going to find someone else. And that's what I think's fucked up. It's just like they just like spit you out when you're done working. That's why we got to take care of our mentals and take care of each other.
Yeah, totally.
We'll start our own cult, Molly. We'll start our own cult, Molly Tuttle. So I was always thinking this, it's like, what kind of advice would you give like a young person who has alopecia?
Ooh, I think, well, I would just say like don't be too hard on yourself, and it does take a long time. Like I've people sometimes with alopecia will tell me like how did you get to be so confident with it, or like how did you um become so like accepting of this? And I think in a way I was fortunate that it happened to me when I was so young. I was 3 and now I'm 31, so people might think like I'm like totally fine with this, but I've had no hair since for like 28 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And it took me until my 20s to even start. Like, I went to therapy for a long time. I took like extreme baby steps of just like emailing someone and saying, like, emailing my college roommates and saying, like, by the way, I have alopecia. That was like a big deal to me when I was 19.
Yeah.
Or like, telling a close friend was super scary for a while. And then I would just kind of like go somewhere by myself without wearing a wig, like where nobody knew me. That was scary. So every kind of step I took, it gave me so much confidence, but it was like absolutely terrifying and hard to get myself to do.
I bet.
So I think like slowly chipping away at it, it doesn't have to be like a linear path. Like there's still, days where I'm like, I want to wear a wig today to go to the grocery store. I don't want to like go out without it. And I think that's fine too. There's no shame in any of it. There's no shame in wearing a wig. There's no shame in not wearing a wig. Doing anything in between. But yeah, and then just like having fun with it too.
Yeah.
Make jokes about it. Be lighthearted.
Yeah.
Have fun. Like it does open up more style.
Oh yeah, you can be whoever you want, dude. I just have this afro. I'm fucked. Dude.
Halloween costumes are endless that you can do.
Oh my god. Yeah, you crush a I bet you crush Halloween. I bet you just crush it at Halloween.
Yeah, so I think just remembering that there's like a fun side to it too, and it's really, it doesn't have to be so serious.
Yeah, we're always so worried about the things we don't have. We should be worried about the things we have.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Molly Tuttle, you've been a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much for being on the show. Hopefully we could hang out. I'm in Nashville all the time. Maybe we could all catch a beer or something, and
I would love that.
And hang out. We won't eat edibles. We don't want panic attacks.
I feel I'm glad to meet someone else who feels the same way.
Oh God, I will never ever do it again. I had to call. I had a panic attack, take an edible. I had to call my friend just to like lay in bed with me and like just like I just want you to check my heartbeat every couple. I'm like freaking out, dude. I'm like, damn, weed is strong. All right, my last question, Molly, and I'll let you go. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by?
I think just my music. I hope people continue to listen to my music for, I don't know, after I'm gone. I hope it still kind of connects with people. Yeah.
I love it. Molly, keep doing the Lord's work. Keep falling in love with my boy. He's the best. He's the best. He is the best. And tell him I say hi, and
I will.
Keep the dream alive, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Yeah, talk to you later.
Later, Molly.